again.
Okay.
And then once I graduated from my undergrad, I was a bit directionless. I was not able to apply to US schools because of the financial issues. So I did not apply. And later on, after 1 or 2 years, I applied and got into Carnegie Mellon and UC Berkeley for environmental PhD and both the universities, civil and environmental engineering. But I talked to a few people, and the route, by then I lost motivation for civil engineering because I thought that I go to PhD program in Carnegie Mellon. After that, the industry opportunities are limited, and if I don't end up getting a faculty job in the US, I'll have to come back to kind of IITs, and then it will create a financial distress. So that moment I lost motivation in the civil engineering domain. I started doing something else. I became interested in development studies. So I work with this guy JPAL, with this Abhijit. I was working with him at that time. He was not a Nobel laureate. So I worked for JPAL, was working in villages. It was a kind of RA kind of position, no prestigious. And at the same time, my core strength, which was a good academics in civil engineering, that could have gotten anything in India, like getting an Indian engineering service officer. Because if you are top in BHU, you can easily get top rank in government exams. But I was not liking that. So I was a kind of directionless. I worked for JPAL. I worked for Terry also, for a couple of days, a couple of months or years. And then at that time, I was suffering that what should I do? Because it's not, whatever I was doing was not prestigious. It looked like I was wasting my degree. And then I went to RA program at ISB, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. So what is the objective of RA program is basically people after IITs and IIMs go there. It prepares them to get into top doctoral program in the business school in the US. So a lot of people, whoever was working with me, they got into all the big business programs, Sloan up MIT, Kellogg, Booth, everywhere. My situation became complex there because mostly PhD applications are due on 15th of December, most of the PhD programs. So I went to my home in November, and I suffered from dengue. So I could not prepare application and then when I came from my home, it was January 15 or even later. So I could not apply for doctoral, and by then I was kind of directionless. My career was kind of going down, and I was losing motivation. So I realized that let's do masters. I went to this Michigan for masters in industrial and operations engineering, and then machine learning and AI was going very, very hot till then. And I realized that it's not a big deal to kind of orient myself or build a skill set that are required into this data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So with Michigan Masters, I positioned myself as a machine learning in the domain of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and I was lucky enough to get a job in one of the leading banks in New York. And then I got H1B. Right now I'm on H1B. And then, I want to take the next move. What should be my next move? That's based on So I applied for business school, whatever were nearby New York. So Wharton doesn't allow you to. Wharton part-time MBA has an issue that you need to have a sponsorship letter from your employer that they will give you off during Friday. They want you to. They don't have any program which is during weekends or during evening. They want you to be kind of alternate Friday. So that I didn't want to. So based on available business schools in New York, we have Boston-based business school and then Yale. So Columbia looked better ranked to me. So I applied there. I got into executive MBA at Columbia Business School. And because of the COVID crisis, because what happens when I was at ISB, Indian School of Business, the best part of ISB is that these are all the top professors from the US universities, business school, they go and teach there. So whatever course is delivered at ISB, it's basically the same as what is delivered in all the Kellogg or Booth or Columbia. So I had technically or like in terms of concept wise, I had a fair idea of what they teach in business school. I did almost 80% of the MBA in ISB. I was just sitting on the back of the class. I learned. So my motivation of doing MBA was to kind of get network, develop the skill, because otherwise the coursework looks simpler than the rigorous coursework of MS or PhD program. So that was one of the motivation for me to defer this. Because COVID situation, they have done everything online. This year they are doing everything virtual. So I just deferred it. So there are two options for me. And then I was lucky enough to, this time TD Bank has decided not to kind of lay off anyone for this year because of COVID crisis. They have declared this official. So I have to kind of move ahead in career. So there are 2-3 ways. One is that just continue in the TD Bank as it is, H1B is there. Second is do some sort of coding practice. That's not a big challenge because I get a lot of interview calls from all the good companies, Amazon, Walmart, and which are basically technology-based companies. TD Bank is not technology company. So just switch to them, may move to Silicon Valley, or maybe the kind of better part about those companies is they are technically much better than the banking sector. Because banking, the challenge is technology. They are not technically efficient. Maybe the technology is outdated, and if you do something, it has to be approved by a lot of other people because risk and other criteria. That's one thing which is available in front of me. Second is just continuing the TD as it is. Third is this MBA. I mean, MBA I'm not doing anyway. So I wanted your help because you have seen more work.
Sure.
Which one is the good move and what are various consequences of choosing, or maybe I should try something else, green card or whatever, because yes, the fourth option is that because of the visa situation in the US, have something back up in Canada as well. Something back up, maybe Canadian permanent residency, and try to see something over there. So I wanted your opinion on all the issues.
Sure. So I will give you my honest opinion, okay? Are you ready? Good. So Chandra, a couple of questions I have to ask. So it's now my time to talk, okay? And your time to listen. How about that, okay? There is no doubt in my mind that you are a very motivated and an excellent scholar, but I think you are at the same time I feel you are being, how should I say, you are very confused regarding what you would like to do, and because of that I think you have not taken, I think you feel the same way, that you have not taken some decisions in around your career where you want to see yourself and where you are right now. And I think because of that you are having all those questions again, that as same thing that as you had once you finished your undergrad. I think you are having these questions again, and I want to give you some better suggestions. They may be very bitter, but I don't want you to be in the same situation again. Put it this way. Before you do that, before I tell you that, I want to ask you one question more. You have seen my profile in LinkedIn or somewhere, right? Do you think that I have taken better decisions?
I mean, the decisions, the better, and the way you define a better decision is basically depends on intended outcome and what you expected. That's something, right? What was, and I don't know, better, one thing may be better for someone and someone, other people may not.
No, I'm just talking in terms of career point of view, because remember when you started your whole telling me about yourself, and this is just a conversation. So I want to get your opinion here. I want to get more information out from you, because see what happens is career is a career is a thing which doesn't go that you do something right now and you are good for your life. You have to continue work on it every year. You understand my point?
Yeah,
and
that's why I'm doing. I mean,
right.
I have
You understand, right?
job.
So that, for that reason, I'm asking you these questions, because if you ask me, if you the questions you have written right now, like can I get my green card, what is my situation, so there are many things that gonna play a role there. So I will give you some very straightforward answer. So for example, I don't think that you can get a green card in US very easily. I don't think so.
Yeah, I know, I
Right.
know.
So that situation is gone. Number two, looking at like what you would like to do. So my question would be, is your job currently you have right now is a stable job, or you feel that it could be a problem? That is, you can take that decision. I can't, right? So let's say if you think, there could be a trouble down the road, I would definitely say then you should prepare yourself that many people are having problem right now who have lost their job, right? So if you think that that is going to be a trouble, then yes, I would say going for an MBA program would be a best thing that you probably can do or will do. As far as considering, oh, I want to move out, switch a job or things like that, I'm not sure how easy would be for anybody right now. Right now, right,
Yeah,
Harsh?
so my answer to this is, yeah, in general, the job market is not very good as of now, but maybe because of the specific domain I am in, like especially artificial intelligence, machine learning, and this optimization, I am continuously getting kind of interview calls from
No,
all the
I'm not saying
companies.
that. All I'm saying that overall the scenario is bad. So maybe you used to call 100 calls, they're gonna get reduced. All I'm saying is the chances are gonna be get slimmer and slimmer. I mean, there are people right now, to be honest with you, who have done their masters in data analytics and who are working in a computer company or things like that. They are getting laid off. I mean, the whole.
Yeah,
So what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying that your situation you won't get a call, but what I'm saying, the options would be much lesser.
yeah, that's true.
Right, that's all I'm saying. So, it for one sector it could be worse, for another sector it could be less worse. That's all. But
Mhm.
I would another one thing I would like to ask you one more question. So, currently, what you do, what you have done, um, are you happy with that, or do you feel little bit frustrated, like I don't enjoy what I do, or I need to move out? So the reason why I'm asking you,
Uh,
because you have done so many things,
yeah.
you have been
So in the
to. Yeah, go ahead.
in present situation, one thing which I don't like about working in the banking industry is that things move very slowly. There is less scope of innovation. You cannot simply just build model or something that should be approved by risk or something. So that's something which are good at technology companies, and the thing which they use many times are outdated. They are still on SAS. You cannot use Python libraries or something like that. That's something which looks challenging to me. Otherwise, in terms of job stability, yes, it is one of the last company to lay you off
Right.
because it's yeah,
Yeah.
bad.
So I would say definitely. One thing I would definitely say to you is, especially the where you are in your career right now, that having an MBA would definitely help. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I have talked to a few people. That's why I applied. But is it the right time to go or not? That's also a question.
I mean, if you have a stable job, if you are secure if you have a job security, I would say it's let me tell you my example. I started doing my MBA after 5 years in my job at Rolls Royce, and I thought that it was the right thing to do, because I felt like if I don't go right now. So here is the thing: if you're gonna do your MBA 5 years later, what is the point? Whatever you have to do is you have to do right now, because you are
Right.
your for your age point of view, where you are right now. The sooner you can finish your degree, the sooner you can take the advantage of it. So let's say if you defer it for a 1 year, how it's going to change it? Unless and until
No,
you unless and
yeah,
until
I
you
differ.
yeah, unless and until you have
I,
like a job insecurity, or or a personal reason, I understand that.
yeah, I deferred this year because of the COVID situation. I wanted to take advantage of an in-person contact of MBA because I knew the content theoretically. I wanted to kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
feel
No, no,
connected.
that, yeah, not many people are doing that for sure. But what I'm saying is, let's say tomorrow if you want to move out to and you want to become I'm just saying like a supply chain manager at Amazon, let's say, for example, right? Or for example, let's say we are hearing this like a lot of companies are going back to India, and I'm pretty sure that one of the things that any company will need is to develop a new supply chain, and you want to become a vice president of a company who works on that. What I'm saying is the earlier you get into things, the better it is. That's all. Because to be honest with you, I think degrees are overrated, but still you need a label. For me, it's just a label. To be honest with you, right? I'm pretty sure yet that you know many things, but it doesn't mean that there are companies who's going to hire you because they're going to say, do you have an MBA? And then you have to say, oh, I know everything. They're going to say, but we need a degree.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Ivy League degree makes a difference.
Right. So that's the only reason I'm saying, to be honest with you, not for the reason that you have to learn something amazing. So if you already know something, let's say if you already know things and if you have already done your homework, I think it's just a degree, right? Try to get it as soon as possible. So get over with it, because because all that will do is open new avenues for you.
Yeah, so I have a kind of comment on this. When I was in Michigan, so they have a Ross School of Business, which is one of the top 20. So I was finding all the coursework in the Ross School of Business very simple. I mean, it required at least a fraction of effort than College of Engineering courses. So the same are the Columbia courses also. Like they are not very rigorous, or they don't require much of the work. For me at least.
No. And I'm not saying that for that reason. I'm saying just for the sake of degree, to be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would also say that if you are going to invest 150,000, 160,000 just for an MBA degree, I won't do it. I won't do it. My MBA is sponsored, and that's the reason I'm doing it. I won't do it. I won't put my money.
No, it's not sponsored. It's $200, $200. So the way American MBA, they have actually ranked MBA based on race. For example, there are a couple of financial lending organizations. What they do is, if you get into top 10 MBA program, they will finance more than 120% of your degree. If you get from 10 to 15 rank program, they'll give you 80% of the finance. So that way it looked kind of optimistic that they have. And if you get into like 20th rank program, they will finance only 70% of your education.
Yeah. But so what I'm trying to tell you, if you have to see, it's all about what's the return of investment, right? But again, see, there is a reason why a fresh person who is fresh from college has no experience go to business school versus a person who has experience go to a school, right? For him, he wants to get a knowledge. For him, he knows that he has to start somewhere. So he is a new person. He understands that is the only way he can get a good return of investment. My question to you would be is, are you sure that if you're going to invest $200,000, is it a good investment for you, or the return of investment will be better considering where you are right now, how much money you make, and all those things? So just keep that in mind also.
Yes, sure. So I have done I have talked to some people,
because to be honest with you, I know few people who have done their MBA from really good schools, and even after 10 years they are still paying interest on that. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so I talked to a few people. I don't know how true it is, but they have given me a new lens to look. So they told that if you put in $200,000, the monthly EMI is close to $2,000. So your jump should be minimum of 2,000 into 12, which is like 24,000, and then if you add tax, so it should be more than 40,000 a year minimum hike with MBA. That will that's a break even. So that point looks viable. Like if with a Columbia MBA, average hike is this much, even much more than that.
Yeah, no. As I said, that is the decision that you need to take. If you are comfortable with it, that's fine. But usually at an MBA, it's just like buying a house for next 30 years. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you also have to really think that considering what is going on with COVID and all that, what's going to happen to the education is it worth spending or not, and what is going to happen to the return of investment? Our companies are going to willing to pay that much money where they were paying. So let's say if you're going to do your MBA in finance, and you're going to say, I'm going to become an investor at Wall Street and I'm going to make $1 million a year, that's fine, of course do it. But if that is not the case, then you really have to understand, see, it's all about, let me put it this way, it's all about where you are in your career, what age you are in, and how much time you have to invest in things. So it's all about that. If you think that you can make a better choices without doing an MBA in your career, I would say that would be the first thing that I would do. But if you have to pay from your pocket, and then you can say, I'm going to make then the better choices in my life. So let me give you an example. When I decided to go my MBA, and because I was living in Ohio, so the Ohio State was a better school, and I looked at the MBA program, and then I spoke to some students. They say, a full-time student an MBA program makes $100,000 or so, and I said, I probably make more than that right now. Why would I pay from my pocket and do an MBA? Do you understand my point? So
Yeah.
you probably have to do the similar thing. You say, okay,
Yeah.
and then I would say in that case you can make a better decision. There are also, I know there are people who came here for through Infosys or TCS, and they said they don't want to go back. They joined an MBA program. That's a different school, because their
No,
idea was to
they
stay
are.
here. So they were
Yeah.
looking for some sort of ideas that how to stay here and all that. But if that is not the case, I would say uh, may not work well for you. But
I have 1 year to decide. I mean, I have just deferred